Manchester City 3, Manchester United 0. And again, another disappointing game, another disappointing performance. But before we get into that, let's speak a little bit about the starting lineup. So Ruben Amorim didn't decide to field Sen Lamens for his first Premier League start. Instead, Bayinde started in goal with a back three of Euro Delete Shaw, then a midfield four of Mazraoui, Bruno, Ugarte, Dogu, then a front three of Ahmad, Mbumo and Tesco. Francesco was starting his first Premier League game after making substitute appearances previously in other games. So the only changes from my lineup that I would have gone for was that Mazraoui and Ugarte started ahead of Xerxes and Casemiro. But yeah, in terms of the first half, I thought the first kind of 10-15 minutes it was okay. It was a decent start to the game for both sides. They were kind of feeling each other out. It was like neither side were pretty dominant in the first like kind of 10-15 minutes. But unfortunately, in the 18th minute, City did take an early lead. Foden makes it 1-0 to City, and it's Jeremy Doku. He does brilliantly to skip past a couple of Manchester United defenders. Doku shimmies and then bustles his way through the box before his first cross is blocked. Without hesitation, he sends the rebound back to Foden in the box, who heads into the net from close range. So, in my opinion, Doku skips past Luke Shaw way too easily, and Bruno Fernandes lets Foden run unmarked into the box for a free header. And again, it's a poor goal to give up defensively, and but it was really good work from Jeremy Doku as well. He was giving us all sorts of problems in the first half. In the 23rd minute, more good work by Doku, this time on the left, opens up Manchester United again, and his cross is volleyed first time by Reinders. However, the latter's attempt is steered straight at Bayinde, who makes an easy save. So in terms of halftime summary, in the middle of the first half, we were really struggling to find a foothold into the game, and Manchester City eventually began to dominate proceedings in the middle of the first half and up until the end of the first half. We were struggling to keep hold of the ball and create chances, and like I mentioned, Jeremy Doku was causing us all sorts of problems down the left flank, down the right flank. He had a really good game as well. In terms of at the end of the first half, Manchester United only had an XG of 0.03 and Manchester City had an XG of 0.34. We weren't too much of a threat going forward, only having one shot. This was in the 4th minute, and overall it was a poor first half from Manchester United, and I really wasn't impressed by our first half performance. The second half kicks off and it doesn't get any better. Haaland makes it 2-0 after Foden and Riley combine really well down their left side, or our Manchester United's right side. Foden plays it to Doku, who then slips in Haaland. He's way too strong for Luke Shaw, and Haaland chips it over Bayinde to make it 2-0. And in the 55th minute, 2 minutes later, City almost make it 3, and they fail to do so. First, Doku pounces on a loose Delete pass and feeds Haaland again. However, the latter is delayed by Bayinde and can only strike the base of the right hand post from close range. Then Bernardo Silva misses the follow-up. So City could have made it 3-0 in the 55th minute. United have their second shot basically on target in the 61st minute, I think. The United forward Brian Mbumo caught this swivelling volley cleanly, but City's new goalkeeper Donnarumma it proves equal to make the stop. So United make a couple of substitutions in the 62nd minute, which didn't really have too much of an impact on the game. Euro and Mazraoui do go off for Maguire and Mainu, and Ahmad is then moved to the right wing back position, and Bruno is moved into the front three. Haaland unfortunately makes it 3-0 in the 68th minute. United lose the ball in Manchester City's half. Bernardo Silva picks it up and plays it to Haaland, who starts his run from inside his own half, so he can't be offside, and he is in a 1v1 against Bayinde, and he coolly slips the ball past him to make it 3-0. And then United make some final substitutions. Sesko and Ugarte do go off for Xerxes and Casemiro, but we did have a decent end to the end of at the end of the second half, it has to be said, but it was too little too late. It was kind of, we had a couple of chances here and there at the end of the second half, but City are already 3-0 up, and it's basically game over at that point. And overall, obviously the result isn't good enough. But let's get into some player ratings, and I'll give my final reviews on like the manager and the team in general. But yeah, Bayinde's got a 5 point here on FootMob. Not much could have been done for the goals that he conceded. Possibly he could have saved Foden's header, but it was from close range. This one in the 18th minute here. He couldn't really have done anything about the goals in the 53rd minute or the 68th minute, in my opinion. I think they were good strikes. Obviously, the one in the 68th minute by Haaland, he's running through on goal, and so he's in a 1v1, and you know, Bayinde comes out to try put him off, but Haaland puts it away easily. I don't remember the one in the 53rd minute right now, but in terms of accurate passes, 16 out of 29, only 6 out of 19 accurate long balls. So you know, not a really amazing game by Bayinde. He made 3 saves and he conceded 3 goals, but that was about it really. So yeah, not much can be said about his performance. So because you know, he conceded 3 goals, not much can be said. Euro, he played 62 minutes, 26 out of 27 accurate passes, 96%. He didn't win any of his duels, which is unfortunate for him, so he needs to be doing better there. And then Matthijs de Ligt, he was okay, I think. 37 out of 43 accurate passes, 86%. And he made 9 defensive contributions, 57 touches, 4 passes into the final third, 2 out of 3 accurate long balls, and then ground duels 5 out of 5, 0 out of 1 aerial duels 1. He was okay, not amazing, but you know, our defense wasn't amazing because we conceded 3 goals. Luke Shaw, I thought he was poor, to be honest. I think he got manhandled for I think Haaland's second goal, whereby I think Jeremy Doku slips in Haaland, if I'm not mistaken, and then Haaland is way too strong for Luke Shaw in that instance, and if Luke Shaw just gets bullied to the ground. I think Luke Shaw needs to be a lot stronger there, but it's a good pass by Jeremy Doku, and it's a neat and tidy finish to lob by Haaland. 51 out of 56 accurate passes, and then duels, he's won 2 out of 4, which is okay. He's won 50% of his duels. Maybe could be doing a little bit better there, but yeah, not much can be said about that. Mazraoui, 26 out of 30 accurate passes. He did win a couple of his duels. He's won 6 out of 10 of his duels, which is decent again, but I think he needs to be doing a little bit better going forward. 4 passes into the final third, 5 defensive contributions, but he wasn't really at fault for the goals. You know, I think it was more to do with Luke Shaw at fault, and then for the first goal, Foden, I think it was Bruno Fernandes lets Foden run free into the box. Second goal, I think Luke Shaw needs to be stronger against Haaland, but it's really good build-up play by Manchester City to play it around Manchester United. And then for the third goal, I think it's Matthijs de Ligt or someone gives it away in Manchester City in you know, while we are in Manchester City's half. Bernardo Silva picks it up and then unleashes Haaland. So yeah, you know, conceded 3 goals defensively. We weren't amazing. Bruno Fernandes here, 90 minutes played, only 1 shot, 60 out of 71 accurate passes, only 2 chances created. Usually he does create more chances. 5 defensive contributions, 86 touches, but passes into the final third, 14, but no touches in the opposition box. 8 out of 10 accurate long balls, and only 1 out of 6 accurate crosses. In terms of his duels, he's won 4 out of 5, which is okay again. He had an okay game, I suppose, not amazing. Ugarte, yeah, he was okay again, not amazing. 41 out of 46 accurate passes, 89%, and then 5 out of 8 duels won altogether. Yeah, Doku, I thought he was a little bit poor, to be honest, going forward. He lasted the full 90 minutes, only 19 out of 27 accurate passes, 70%. 3 chances created from the wing-back position, which is okay, I think. 6 defensive contributions, 59 touches, but he's got 12 touches in the opposition box, which shows that he was getting down that left side quite a bit. 1 out of 4 successful dribbles, but accurate crosses 4 out of 7. Personally, he's won the most duels of the match. He's won 11 duels, 11 out of 17 duels. So he is getting stuck in, winning the majority of his duels. But I think, in my opinion, going forward, he lacks that cutting edge. He lacks that creativity. And personally, I think the jury's still out on him. I don't think he's good enough to be playing in this wing-back position. I've seen enough of him to have this opinion of him. And in my opinion, I think we should have gone with a little bit of a more attacking fullback, someone that can produce more attacking output. He is a hard worker, and yes, he does get involved in his duels. Like as mentioned, he's won 11 out of 17 of his duels. But you know, he needs to be doing better going forward, in my opinion. But yeah, Brandon Bumo. He's 33 out of 42 accurate passes, 79%. He was okay. I thought he had this good shot in the I think in the 61st minute, which was saved. That could have gone in. He's had a couple of shots in, 80th minute, 82nd minute, and in the 84th minute, which shows that once we were down to 3-0, I think we played a little bit better, to be honest. It's a little bit confusing with regards to how the game ended. We definitely ended the game stronger than we started, but like I mentioned before, it was too little too late. Shots on target 1 out of 4, 1 big chance missed as well. 64 touches, 9 touches in the opposition box, 1 out of 3 successful dribbles. 3 passes into the final third, only 1 out of 5 accurate crosses. In terms of his duels, he's only won 2 out of 10. So he needs to be doing better with his duels won. And then Ahmad, he started in the inside 10 position alongside Brian Bumo. 35 out of 38 accurate passes. He was definitely lively as well, especially at the end of the second half. He was getting into some dangerous positions down that right wing back position, but obviously nothing came of it. And then in terms of his duels, he's only won 2 out of 7 when he needs to be doing better there. And then finally Sesko, I thought he had a little bit of a quiet game. Only this 1 shot in the 4th minute. He was making some decent runs, but like I said, he wasn't really getting found by the United players. It was disappointing that they weren't finding him. He lasted 80 minutes, and like I said, he had this 1 shot in the 4th minute, from way outside, which was saved. But apart from that, he really didn't offer anything too much. I'm not saying that it's his fault necessarily. I think the United players weren't really finding him. I think he could be doing a little bit better himself. 8 out of 14 accurate passes, but only 3 out of 9 duels won, so he needs to be doing better with his duels, especially his aerial duels there. But I think he needs to be doing a little bit better there. But like I said, we weren't necessarily creating any chances for him, like clear-cut opportunities, that is. In terms of the substitutes, Maguire came on. He made an error that led to the goal for Man City. I think Maguire was the one that gave it away for Haaland's third. I think someone gave it away. I think it was Maguire. But 24 out of 27 accurate passes, and then 1 out of 1 aerial duels won. And then Mainu came on, and he was neat and tidy on the ball as well. He skipped past a couple of City defenders to create this opportunity for United later on in the game. I don't remember exactly what happened, but he was okay when he came on. Looked lively. He's got 7.0 here in FootMob, and he's lasted 28 minutes. I think one of our better substitutes when he came on, and 17 out of 17 accurate passes. Jules, he's won 3 out of 4 as well, which is decent. Casemiro only lasted 10 minutes. Not much can be said. 17 out of 19 accurate passes. 0 out of 1 duels won. And then finally, Joshua Zirkzee, he's won 1 out of 1 of his duels. He only lasted 10 minutes as well, so 2 out of 3 accurate passes as well. So overall, I think we were a little bit poor. Like defensively, we were poor by conceding 3 goals. And then obviously going forward, we weren't great. If we take a look at the stats here, we surprisingly come up with more possession than Manchester City with 55% compared to their 45%. But if we have a look at the first half, City dominated, and they kind of dominated possession in the first half, but we kind of limited City in the first half to only 4 shots or 2 on target. It was disappointing, the goal that we gave away. I think Bruno lets Foden run, like I said, but in the second half, I think we slightly edged it in terms of shots, obviously, but we gave away like 2 goals in 2 poor goals in the second half as well. So overall, not a good performance, not a good day by United. Expected goals, City do kind of beat United in that. We did have more XG on set plays, but overall not really good enough by United going forward, and defensively it is poor to be giving away 3 goals as well. So Ruben Amorim's record isn't looking great. I think that's 8 wins in 31 games. Not great whatsoever. But yeah, overall, I think City played well, especially Jeremy Doku, who's coming away with 2 assists there. He was causing us all sorts of problems all throughout the game. And then Haaland, obviously, he will want to be looking out for, and did mention in my preview if we keep him quiet. But unfortunately, Haaland's got 2 goals here. But yeah, overall, where does that leave us in the table? We are in 14th position with 4 points. City do leapfrog us. They move into 8th position with 6 points. We're still on 4. And overall, it's not been a good start to the season whatsoever. It's been a poor start to the season. And in my opinion, I think the jury is out on Ruben Amorim. I think his Premier League record is pretty poor. And I wouldn't be surprised, if he kind of doesn't last up, if they sack him, if they get rid of him. I wouldn't be surprised, because his Premier League record is pretty poor. He's won 8 Premier League games in how many matches? 20, 27, 30, 31. So that's 8 wins in 31 Premier League games, which is absolutely abysmal, and it's relegation form. And if another Premier League side would just sack him, honestly. But I'm not calling for the manager to be sacked. Obviously, I don't care who the manager is. I want United to win every single game of football. I don't care who the manager is. I don't care who's on the pitch. I just want us to win. And of course, coming away with another loss in the Premier League is sad. I would have taken a draw before the game. But yeah, hopefully it can improve. I'm not sure if it will. And I wouldn't be surprised if Amorim is sacked, because this is worrying signs, because we're not necessarily seeing any improvement in our style of play. Any patterns that I'm seeing, I'm not seeing any patterns of play. I'm not seeing any improvement in us playing football. It's similar to what we were seeing last season. It's poor, and I'm concerned. I'm worried for Amorim. I wouldn't be surprised if he is sacked. And it's just another sad day, another defeat in the Premier League. So overall, not good enough. Overall, the result is not good enough. We were basically, apart from I'd say the first 10 minutes of the first half, I think, and then 10 minutes at the end of the second half. That was basically it. So 10 minutes at the start of the game, and then 10 minutes at the end of the game. I think that was the only time that we played any decent football. And even in the kind of if we take a look at the stats here, let me just pull up the stats again. Let me just put up the stats here. Like, even though we beat City in shots, a lot of these shots, they're not really high value chances, and they're like coming at the end of the second half. So let me just go back to all these shots here. So 73rd minute, 90 plus 2 minutes, 82nd minute, 61st minute, 85th minute, 86th minute, 90 plus 3 minutes. This one here, 84th minute, and then this one here, 85th minute. This one here, 73rd minute. This one here, damn it, I can't click. Yeah, 73rd minute and 80th minute. But like, apart from that, like, this is all in the second half. Like, if we take a look at the second half stats, we had 11 shots in the second half compared to only 1 shot in the first half. So we are getting more shots, but like, we're not creating any clear-cut chances. If you have a look at the big chances, we created 2 big chances and we missed 2 big chances, whereas City created 4 big chances and they only missed 2. And this possession stat here, 55% possession compared to Man City's 45, is a little bit surprising, because we're away at the Etihad, but we come out with more possession. But overall, not good enough. It's not a good enough performance by Manchester United. Overall, the result is not good enough. We were awful, basically, from start to finish, apart from like the last 10 minutes of the game. We were nowhere near good enough going forward, and we were poor defensively for all the goals that we conceded. For the first goal, I think it's Bruno letting Foden run free. For the second one, I think Luke Shaw's got to be stronger. And then for the third one, I think Maguire gives it away in our own half. And then Bernardo Silva plays it through for Erling Haaland to go 1v1 against Bayinde, who's not going to miss, from a cut from that easy chance. So, yeah, overall, we have to improve drastically if we want to finish in the top half of the league. And honestly, it could be another write-off season. Like, I am genuinely worried for Amrim and our season because I'm not seeing any improvements in our style of play or, the way we play football or chances and stuff like that. It's just poor, in my opinion. Anyway, that's it from me. If you enjoyed this review, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.